Today's video, we're going to talk about AI ad copy and how you use AI or ChatGPT to develop the best Google Ads ad copy in the world for your business that'll get sky-high click-through rates, and as a result of this, much higher profits than you would really get otherwise doing it all yourself without AI. Here's though how it's really done. That is, most people who try to attempt this and use AI for their own advantage, writing ad copy, better ad copy, they fail at it miserably because they just simply don't understand it's not a simple in and out process. Google, write me an ad for a plumbing company, and then out comes this perfect ad. That's not how it works. You have to understand there's a process, just like everything else in life, and especially with marketing, there's a process to make it work. Because if it were as easy as just going into ChatGPT and typing that in, everybody in your space would already be doing it, and there would be no edge. 20% of the market makes all the money basically on Google Ads in a competitive market, and you have to figure out how to be in that 20%, and you don't get it by doing the bare minimum or doing what everybody else does. And that inherently is why ChatGPT sucks directly when you use it as is. Just make me an ad, ChatGPT, and it outputs something and you use it, because that's what anybody else in your niche market can ultimately do. You can use ChatGPT to get a much better ad than you would get otherwise. You gotta know how to do your prompting and train the actual system itself. I'm gonna go into a case study in the mattress space where I've used ChatGPT to show you just how much more results you can get with ChatGPT using this system that I'm gonna cover in today's video. I'm gonna train you on how to train ChatGPT to get you a better ad, and so you can also get these same results for yourself. With that said, getting into the content here, most people use ChatGPT to make ad copy with basically nothing else other than ChatGPT, I'm a plumber in Houston, I need to write an ad, make me an ad. And it comes out and it says, great, yeah, we'll make you a Google ad. It's really that simple. They'll give you 4 or 5 different ads. You might be a bit more sophisticated than this and say, oh, I don't like these ads and I like this ad. Make me some more like this. It shoots out a few more. But this is not going to get you results unless you started out absolutely terrible as an ad copywriter. Like if you absolutely knew nothing, you were born yesterday and you figured out what Google Ads is today, ChatGPT can get you a better ad that way. If you're not in that situation, then you need to be able to do more using ChatGPT. So whereas it's profitable and powerful to use ChatGPT, the problem with ChatGPT is it's only as good as the data it's trained on, which ChatGPT, people still think ChatGPT is like a true artificial intelligence, like they're talking to another human on the other side of this thing. All it does is it scans the internet for content and it figures out what it is that they should say based upon what other people have said. You're looking for an answer about what's the tallest mountain in the world or how do you tie your shoes. It's excellent at outputting that answer quickly because it reads all the answers similar to that question on the web and it tells you a cumulative answer for that. When you're talking about Google Ads and it being a competitive system and only some ads work and some ads don't work, and it scans all the ads, not also having the access to the data about which ads have the highest click-through rates, you're going to get crappy, mediocre outputs, which, for that matter, you may say, well, if the best ads out there that perform the best are going to run the most often, and ChatGPT's algorithm is going to scan all the ads on the internet, all the Google ads, and give me an answer based upon that, wouldn't basically the output that they're giving me also be quality? And the answer to that is no, because of this one simple fact. Most people who run Google ads don't make any money with their ads. I can, for a fact, tell you this because I run a ad agency where we have about 50 or so clients just running Google ads at any given time. And I've been doing it for over a decade now. I've seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of accounts. I've seen what people are making with their ads, what they're not making. Most clients that I run across that ask me for an audit, they're not making money with their ads. You know why? Because They inherently know their customer goes to Google and asks Google for a vendor in their space. They understand how this works. Why? Because they do it. They know their customers inherently do it because once in a while people will say, they'll get a few hits. Oh, I found you on Google when they ask them where they found him. But they don't know how to do conversion tracking in their ad account, nor want to stick their head in the ground and pretend they don't need to know. They want to inherently believe, like a child, I invest in Google ads, therefore it has to work, because I don't want to admit that the ads don't work and I've wasted my money for the last 3 years. Why would I want to admit that I got scammed? Nobody wants to really admit they get scammed. They don't track the results. They advertise. They are losing money, but they have no idea that they're losing money, and then therefore they just keep going with it. So as a result of this, given that most Google Ads advertisers are not like a magazine advertiser, that type of person would have some level of marketing sophistication to even advertise in a magazine to begin with. Google Ads is a whole different beast. You got people that are totally clueless about marketing, advertising there, because they know that's the one spot out of everywhere that it makes the most obvious sense to advertise, where people are going for people that are buying in that market that they're in. So you got all these clueless people advertising, and they don't know anything about tracking or tracking their ROI. Most of the ads aren't working, and Google gets away with charging so much for ads because they know people aren't paying attention and keeping their eye on the profitability, and they can just take everybody's money. 30% of the market out there is even tracking the results. I'll tell you that as well. And 80% of them either losing money or making almost nothing. ChatGPT is trained on ads that most of them are shit. Most of them aren't making money. If you ask ChatGPT as a result of this for an ad, they're going to give you a non-winning ad. Given that, again, also just like I said, 80% of the people in any market aren't making any money. Google has actually set it up to the 20% make all the money. And if you're not in that 20%, you're wasting your time. You may get some clients, but guess what? That don't mean jack shit. Because if you don't get enough clients to make enough sales revenue to offset your ad spend and all your hard costs in your business of producing that product or service, you are completely working for free for Google as their slave. You don't have an option to not track your results and just use any old thing on your Google ads. In a competitive market, like a plumbing service even, there's 20 guys, literally 20 guys advertising for plumbing service in a market like Houston or even Omaha, Nebraska, because everybody in that market knows this is the gimme place to advertise. And Google can only show 4 ads at the top of Google. Whose ad are they going to show? They're going to show the ad that gets the highest click-through rates and the highest conversion rates, because that provides users a great experience and makes them want to click on ads in the future. Ultimately, you don't have an option to just do whatever the hell you want. You're in the 20% that gets all the coverage from the people that are the most serious buyers, because Google basically knows who those are coming in, and you either get into that in good graces with Google, or you're basically going to be put at the bottom of the pile. Your ad's not going to show, and when it does show, it's going to show for people that they know are least likely to become a client, and they know that pretty much going in when the person searches, because they can see everything they've searched in the past. They can see everything they've set it with a Google app on their phone. They can see their demographics, their income, everything. And you're not going to get around the system. You either have to be better nowadays, or you're wasting your time. So with all that said, you're going to get lame ads out of ChatGPT because that's what they've learned from. And you got to be in the top 20% of your market to even make money. So ChatGPT by itself, when you don't know how to use ChatGPT, is worthless to you. Totally worthless. You'd be better off hiring an ad expert that knows how to write Google ads, like myself, that's written thousands of them, to make an ad for you, even if it costs you $1,000, because an ad that doesn't get a certain level of click-through rates is never going to make you a dime. You're actually going to lose money every month. It doesn't matter if it was $10,000, it still would be worth it. Stuff that's free, you get what you pay for, especially in the marketing space. But ChatGPT is free, and it is going to be useful, but you got to know more than the average guy. Here's the process to actually use ChatGPT, so it's actually going to produce you a profit at the end of the day, or at least more money than you're making now. First of all, you're going to go research all the past reviews from all of your competitors. So this is something like a big brain activity here. Nobody talks about this, but the best ad copywriters in the world, I do say all, think this way. The greatest ad copy you write is after many hours of just doing research on the market. You don't just come up, you think I can make an ad that crushes everybody and I just come up with it willy-nilly in 2 seconds in a market that I've never written an ad for before? No, I got to do hours of research. Or, of course I have assistants to help me do this research, but one way or another, you got to research your market. And the best way to research your market is to go and read your reviews of all your competitors on Amazon, on Google, on their websites if the reviews are there, and you make a list of all the compliments that people have said about those companies and those reviews and all the complaints. In the plumbing space, it would be people like when you get there on time. People like also when you're not late. People like that you tell them up front the pricing. People also like that when you're there, you're going to be professional. You're not going to track dirt all over the house and this and this. With that said, you have to be able to figure out what all these things are. You got to make a clear list, things they like and what they don't like, ultimately. Now, once you have this list, now you have what you need for ChatGPT in order to make you an excellent quality ad, essentially. Before you do that, though, you're going to want to run your reviews through ChatGPT to detect fakes. This is something that nobody that I've heard has said yet. I think ChatGPT is the best way to do it because there's no other third-party services that are worth a damn. But you literally take the reviews out of Amazon or wherever the reviews are, and you put them into ChatGPT and you say, okay, of these 50 reviews, which ones are fake or likely to be fake? Oh, these 25 are fake. These ones are not. So that when you do this study, you actually have real data, people that are juicing the reviews. So when you have that and you have your list of things people like and don't like, now you can go to ChatGPT with something useful and get something useful out of it. With that information, you're going to ask ChatGPT to come up with Google Ads headlines using these angles. Here's a sample prompt. You could obviously tweak this. This isn't like the ultimate best way to do it, but in general, you want something like, ChatGPT, make me an ad, headline 2, with these positive angles in which mention you could avoid these negative traits, while also assuming that H1 or headline 1 on your ad is going to be the keyword, that keyword being back pain mattress, and also knowing the H3 or third headline is going to be free shipping dash buy now. And then it'll come up with the best H2 for your ad, which, by the way, when it comes to ad copywriting testing to get higher click-through rates, which are going to get you more profit from your ads, it's the H2 that's really the key critical factor. Why is that? Because the headline 1 is typically always just going to be the keyword or a close variant of that keyword, because that gets the highest click-through rates 98% of the time in 8% of markets. They're typing in back pain mattress. You don't want to say mattresses for sale here. That's not going to get their attention at the highest rate. Now, once in a while, you'll still do better by having an ad that says $69 service call as opposed to whatever keyword they typed in. 98% of markets, it's the keyword in the headline 1 position that's going to get the best click-through rate. Your headline 3, in many occasions, is just simply going to be an offer like 2-day shipping or free shipping and then buy now or something like this. Why is this? And obviously that's for a product market, but the reason for this is because AI DA model, as far as all the ad testing I've done over the last 20 years, is the best way to write a Google ad. It's attention, interest, desire, action. Attention, how are you going to get their attention? Interest, how are you going to interest them now that you got their attention? Desire, how do you get them to desire right now? What do you want them to do to be able to you respond, essentially? And you keep that structure. And the second headline is the interest. What are you going to do that interests them? Because the first headline is there to get their attention. That is the keyword they typed in or a close variant of it. And the main variable is, what are you going to use to get their interest? Are you going to say that you have a warranty? Are you going to say that you're going to have no pain after this? Are you going to say you offer 60-minute response times? You got to figure out what that element is. Now, not to say that this has to be the way that you go about it. You could have ChatGPT write you a new headline 1 and so forth. This is just what I use most of the time. That's the prompt. What you're going to then get is a bunch of different headlines. Go through, have them write 20, 30, 40, 50 headlines. Pick what you feel like, or somebody that a consultant you could pay for an hour that's got ad writing experience, which of the 50 are the best 5, and then those are the ones you're going to test. And then you're going to take the output and the results you get, you're going to then go back to ChatGPT and tell them what happened. Here's the result I got out of what you asked me to do. Here's the result I got. Now, I want 5 more headlines that are like the winner that could get me even more results. Which, for that matter, what I would literally do is have a tab/window on my computer opened with everything that you've done saved so that you can come back a month later when you get your test result and say, hey, ran the test you recommended. Here's the result. Get me some more headlines that take what we've learned here from the result and get even more headlines going. And then you'll test those and then let's come back later. And you'll keep doing that again and again and again until ChatGPT basically fails at least 3 times in a row to get a higher click-through rate for you. And then you just say, for the most part, yeah, maybe you don't have the ultimate highest click-through rate possible, but it's good enough and it's not worth constantly making changes in your ad account to get an extra 1 or 2% potentially, because every change you make in your ad account causes the campaign to go back into learning mode temporarily, which affects your results. And that's at least what I'm going to do at our ad firm. So that's, in a nutshell, the process. Now, if you want to know how much the results is going to be doing this, I'm going to go into those numbers here to give you an example how this works and the type of output, frankly, ChatGPT is going to give you once you follow this system. But if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do that right away. I've got the best information you're going to find on this channel about how to make money with ads, millions of dollars a year. Why? Because I do ads all day long, 40 hours a week, to give you the information on this channel. I spent another 40 just putting this channel together. So it's possible for me to actually do the work, know what the results are going to be from that work, and then tell you what works and doesn't work on this channel. Nobody else is doing it on YouTube as far as I still know. They're either a YouTuber or they don't have time to make YouTube videos. I also got a great blog on my site at guaranteedppc.com/blog. If you like the channel, you should check my work there. My written work has lots of information that goes really well or hand in hand with what I have on this channel. In addition to that, if you want to know anything about PPC or marketing or advertising, you can also reach out to me through my Discord group. Link is in the description, as well as you can reach out to me through my website at guaranteedppc.com, of which on my website, I offer coaching and consulting, offer done-for-you ad management services where I make ads, landing pages, tracking systems, all that, whatever's necessary to get your results and guarantee those results. Otherwise, we do not charge management fees. That is, you get a lift of at least 25% in your profitability or get to a certain point in addition to whatever you had before charging management fees. We're the only agency out there doing this. I also have ad templates available. If you are in a market that we've already been in, we can sell you the winning ads, landing pages, all of it that work for your niche market, of which to get you the results you're looking for that we've spent already years to try to figure out how to get results in your market in another city or country that you can get right away just using the winning version of everything we have for that market. I've got hundreds of templates and hundreds of markets, of which I can tell you the results you would get up front with these templates. So if you're interested in making your business better and you want to manage your own campaigns, that's the best way to still do it. Now, going into the case study, we had a mattress company that the mattress is its basically strong point is that it helps with back problems. And so we would target all the keywords like back pain, mattresses that help with lower back pain, all this stuff, hundreds of terms. It's a big part of the mattress market, by the way. 10% or more of the market buys a mattress based upon back pain. If you didn't know it, it needs to be the right firmness, how it's structured, all this stuff. There's mattress companies out there who specialize in just that by itself. Before we used ChatGPT, our best headline that we had at the time was back correcting mattress. Now, we used the process that I mentioned here earlier to get better headlines. We did all the research, reading every last back pain mattress review on Amazon. Took a long time to do this, but it's 100% worth it, and you'll see why here. ChatGPT output 2 other headlines. Chiropractor approved. This is for headline 2. Again, like I mentioned before. And stop the chiropractor, which is kind of smart because one of the things that people mentioned a lot in the reviews was, hey, I've been going to the chiropractor because of my back pain, and I'm looking to see if a mattress would fix my problem. So it took that data, and this is why you do this. You'll shine what I'm saying here because it's too hard. or too time consuming. You hire a damn VA if you have to. And it ran with it and was able to get better results. Now, whereas the back correcting mattress in headline 2 position only got a 6.3% click-through rate, chiropractor approved got a 5.9, so it did not beat the control. Stop the chiropractor got a 7.4% click-through rate, and it did beat the control by a good, as you see there, 20% or so. Most people would have just stopped right there. That's not how you get the amazing results out of Google Ads. It's, again, testing and then testing again. Ideally picking one ad group that gets the most traffic, always having a test going there until you fail 3 times in a row, like I mentioned before, to get higher click-through rates. But ChatGPT is, once you've done that background research on your market like that, read all the reviews, ChatGPT really is just going to do all the heavy lifting for you. All you got to do is go back to ChatGPT every time the test ends, have them spit out 5 other headlines to test, then test those, and then come back again and just keep doing it until you've maxed out your click-through rate. What headline got the best click-through rate that we out of ChatGPT, out of everything we did? Stop the chiropractor got a higher click-through rate. We went back to ChatGPT. We said, hey, make us more headlines like this, give it this one. One of the other headlines and output was quit the chiropractor, which seems like a really natural progression. And that got an 11.1% click-through rate. We basically not quite double our click-through rate by using ChatGPT and free public data out there about what people want in this market and what they don't by doing this. And click-through rate, when you double your click-through rate like this isn't going to just simply mean you're going to double your profits. This is going to mean you're going to get 4 times the profits or quadruple your profits, because your cost per click is going to now be cut almost in half doing this, along with you having twice as many people clicking through your ads. This is 100% worth it to do. It's 1,000% worth it to do, even though it might take you 30, 40, 50, 100 hours to do all the background research in your market about every last little thing that people like or don't like about products that are already out there, which a lot of guys still make the mistake also of making a product, and then they come to guys like me and they say, hey, Corey, I made this product, advertise it, sell it for me, which is the total wrong way about going about doing business. It's you go read all the reviews in your market before you make a damn product, and then when you realize that there's a gap in the market for a mattress that helps with spinal problems and is not too hot, because most people want that, but the mattress is too hot. You make a mattress that's cool, but also fixes spinal problems, because 2, 3, 4, 5% of the market want exactly that, and there's no product that exists. Then you can go ahead and say that in your ad right away, and then you're wildly successful because you filled an actual hole in the market. What you're doing is useful, versus thinking an ad guy like me is going to just wave a magic wand on your business, and then just out of nowhere, I'm going to materialize all this demand for you, which, of course, guys like me can do a lot. I can, through the power of words, make people get into an emotional state by telling stories and so forth. But at the end of the day, where the rubber meets the actual freaking road, if it has no actual use, what you're doing has no use, and there's 50 people doing it, I'm still only going to be so successful with it. I'm going to be 10 times more successful with somebody who's got a product or service that fits a hole in the market than something that does none of that and is just a Me Too product. Why even try to beat a dead horse with what you're doing when you can just come up with a new product that is filling a need in the market, and then having a guy like me do my magic and make 10 times the profit with that? I mean, really, at the end of the day, the truth. A lot of people just think guys like me that know how to run ads perfectly, they can get results with any product. I can get some results with most products, but you're going to get 10 times the results with products that actually serve an actual market. That's just something else to consider. You're going to grow 10 times quicker with that, and 10 times more with a product that serves a need than one that doesn't. Anyway, so that's the case study and the numbers I wanted to go through for you there. That's how you get the best results. And this ad, by the way, again, 98% of the time, the keyword is in the headline. So if they're typing in back pain mattress, the ad says back pain mattress, quit the chiropractor, and then free shipping, buy now. That's the ad structure we had there. This is the overall kind of process that you need to go through if you're going to use ChatGPT to your advantage. Otherwise, don't use it at all, because more than likely it's going to hurt your results or waste your time than actually provide you some benefit and an increase of profitability for your company. So with that said, I'm going to wrap it up with that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. If you want to see another video, click here. It is one of my best ones.